So let me put it on recording. So this series we are understanding to realize our real nature, real self. And that real self is pure consciousness. So question comes, am I pure consciousness or something else? We always think we are different. No. We are honey, we are man, we are women, we are rich, we are poor. We feel we are the judge in our relationship, so honey is wrong and I'm right. So amid all these challenges caused by the mind due to ignorance, the master says you are pure consciousness, you are peace and happiness. So in the beginning, when one hears as a layman, not as a seeker, hmm, we say, is showing what, is showing big dreams. It is not possible. So the master says you have to become a seeker to understand that. So once we are a seeker, then the master says the knowledge is realized in stages. In Eastern wisdom, the way the seed does not become a tree overnight. So once we have that understanding, then the real coaching begins. That is where the master starts guiding. But before that, we should be very clear. We want a knowledge of the real self. I have told a couple of times that knowledge needs an instrument so that I know the knowledge. Instrument of knowledge should be used. I want to know the stars. I need a telescope, not an electron microscope. But if I want to know the cells or maybe the COVID virus, I need electron microscope. So the instruments are different. You cannot reverse them. You cannot use the telescope to see the cells. Not possible. And you cannot see the stars with the electron microscope. So once we have a clarity and understanding of that level, then we have to see that which instrument can find the knowledge of the real self. Simple. I'm putting everything in logic. Why we put a logic? So that there is a clarity, there is an understanding. We can filter out. My house number is 75. And then I see the 76. No, this is not my house. I put a logic. That is why we put a logic. But sometimes we put a wrong logic. My honey is responsible for my suffering, wrong logic. I can give you millions of examples. So here, why I explained these things in the beginning, that sense organs, they are 5, cannot help me to know the real self. They are not the fit instrument, like electron microscope to see the stars. So the mind is subtle instrument But even the mind is not a fit instrument for knowing that I am the pure consciousness. Then what it is? So we say the Eastern wisdom is a perfect instrument of knowledge by which we know the real self. Do you have any branch of science to know what is real self? Have you ever studied, or can you admit in any university or school where the professors teach you who am I? So the Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge by which we get to know the real self. But then another problem comes: ego, mind, instinctive and impulsive mind. So, greater the impurity in the mind, the greater the state of being a non seeker, for which we need to do lot of practices to purify the mind, to be ready to become a seeker. I have already covered that. So, with that understanding in the background, we come to directly to the verse this master has written. And last week, I think we covered one metaphor. So, we should also be understanding a bit about this metaphor. Why are metaphors so powerful? They are a technique, they are a very potent psychological technique to remove the doubt so that we have a doubt free knowledge. It is used in science. Have you seen all those infographic of atoms and electron and the DNA? You might have seen those videos. They all are metaphors. That awareness, that knowledge settles when I see, oh, this electron is moving like this, huh? Around a nucleus. These are metaphors. Would you like to appreciate our great masters? They use great metaphors for a period of 6,000 years, even when the science was not there. But if I'm not a seeker, then I'll say, oh, is it possible? I can tell you, 99% of the Indians, oh, what is this? So here, the metaphor first, master explains the master metaphor in four stages. The first is the white cloth, then the starch on the cloth. So this is a conception stage. And then conception is the causal body. Then we come to the subtle stage, the subtle mind, uh, that a painter thinks, conceives, oh, what should I do? Pencil. He does the sketching, and after that, he does the painting. Only pure consciousness. There is nothing except the pure consciousness in the very beginning. That is what we say the existence is. And then the causal stage. If you contemplate this week, the things will become clear. we say this consciousness which is present in the very beginning, before the creation consciousness, during the creation consciousness, after the creation consciousness. The way we conceive, we use the metaphor of the space. Space is always present. So on that consciousness, that starting is nothing but the causal states. So what I want you to contemplate in terms of the creation, I created a mouse. So as a creator, I am outside the mouse. So here, we say the consciousness creates and enters into what it creates. If I use the word creation, the water creates the wave and enters into it. Wave is nothing but the water. Huh? Do you see that? Wave is nothing but the water. Now, in the same way, can I say the space, just for example, the space created the house and entered into it? But without space, you cannot have a house. Without space, you cannot have a body. Think. We are using the metaphor in order to take the mind deeper and deeper and deeper. Mind says, aha moment. We got yes, this is me. The consciousness creates and enters into what it creates. Second stage. And from the third stage in the mental, we talk of the cosmic mind, that all minds are together. So subtle mind. And after the subtle mind, we see the multiplicity of this world. But behind that, there is only one thing that never changes in this metaphor, is the pure consciousness. Consciousness cannot be polluted. Even at the level of the mind that claims I am stressed, I'm happy, I'm crazy, but it does not affect consciousness at all. Have you seen that in your life? Have you seen that? Yes. Yesterday you were in stress and tomorrow in the morning you are fresh. Who noted? Consciousness. That did not go under any change. We have millions of thoughts and feelings, impressions, but the consciousness knows it. One, consciousness does not undergo a change. Consciousness is neither in stress nor in pleasure. It is one and the same all the time. So the master questions, check, am I pure consciousness? I can give you another metaphor. We put all our clothes in a washing machine. What it means? It means that impurities, that dirt has not fundamentally has touched any clothes. That is why we put it in a washer and dry. We return to the same state of these clothes. So that Dirt, in case of a cloth, is the causal, and then the subtle body, where the blueprint is conceived, and then we come out, we start saying that I am Ashok, I am Rakesh, I am Stephen, by name and the form, and we fall into the delusion, but we remain a pure consciousness inside. Use this metaphor to understand the water is painted in the mirage. It does not exist, if I say so. Blueness is seen in the sky all the time, but the sky is not blue. I can give you a very close example. When you are driving, you see the trees and the roads appear running away from us. Have you seen that? What is the truth? It's not. It's not running. Before COVID, I used to drive to Phoenix to a medical doctor to give her coaching lessons. And it used to take me 40 minutes, and I used to drive. And you are just aware, knowledge tells you that the trees and the roads and the highways are not moving, but you see it is moving. Sense organ says it is a fact. Mind experiences it, but the right knowledge is that it is not moving. I can give you even closer example. You see a beautiful girl or a boy, mind is infatuated. We are painting a picture. We have never met that boy and girl. We have seen it has gone, huh? And still we are painting a picture. We all have that experience, it's not a big deal. If the honey is sitting near you, then you can nod your head. No, no, no. I am very. You can say that, no problem. We wake up in the morning, we revive the dream. We are painting the fourth stage. I can give you millions of examples. Look at it. So when you see that metaphor and with your intellect, when you go deeper, you see every movement, every change is a constant painting. It is a constant, somewhere, a very deep inner urge to paint perfectly. And that urge comes from the pure consciousness. That is what the metaphor says, that first original pure growth, pure consciousness. Before creation, consciousness. During the creation, consciousness. After the creation, consciousness. That is our real self. It is present here and now. You cannot undo it. Whether you are in stress, whether you are listening to me, whether you are not listening to me, consciousness is still there. Do you see that? That is the beauty of teaching of this master. Once we are a seeker, mind is very clear, we focus there. naturally, and we see that consciousness is and then there is an inner creative impulse. I'll talk about that in detail as the master uh, will teach us, will guide us. So I said inner creative impulse. That is what I explained to you. There is a superimposition. Uh, I said the consciousness creates and enters into what it creates. Make it more simple. Consciousness created Terry and entered into her. Created me, entered into me. Created everything and entered into it. That is the inner creative impulse. So the master says this is superimposition. The wave is superimposed on the water. Meditation is not so easy. We do not get the right knowledge in the intellect, this mind will remain crazy even after 50 years of meditation practice. You see, many people are scared. I was completely focused on this God and Goddess for 10 years, and after 10 years, same problem of reaction, anger, hesitation returns. Without knowledge, nothing is possible. This master says. So inner creative impulse. So water, the wave is superimposed on the water. I would say the water, no. Yes, the water is superimposed in the space, appears as a water in the mirage. Our name and the form is superimposed on the consciousness. That is why we find that we are different from each other, one another. How can you say that we are different? It's a Terry's body, my body. It's made up of the same matter. Same matter. Just for the sake, she. I use the word she. I use the word he. And that makes a difference. We are not different at all. At the matter level, at the physical level, at the level of the painting is finalized. One painting is Terry, other painting is me. And then go deeper, even at the subtler level. So it is because of the conception, the name and the form appears differently. One wave is tsunami, other wave is wave. We enjoy at the beach. And deeper inside, I said, consciousness enters into what it creates. So that is what is the four metaphor is explained. One water you have, if I say so, and you have millions of waves in different oceans. See, one water. Can you show me any wave which is devoid of water? The master says, you cannot show me anything which is devoid of consciousness. So it depends on the superimposition. First superimposition, the creative impulse, and then that cosmic mind conceives. So we have mountains conceived. So we have Ashok. First conception is very important. I told you in the Mondays and Thursday session, one is the material cause and other is the efficient cause. We are talking of the efficient cause. That is where we are heading to. I must know the efficient cause completely. I can give one or two sentences on the efficient. We take it very simple that my parents have, they mated together and I am born. Oh, it is so easy to be such a solution of such a complex birth. If that is so, let the science measure how much protein, carbohydrate, other matters is present in the body, put it on the table, and create another Girish. If it is possible, let them create. Let the science create another Terry, which is almost, I would say, 16, 15 years ago. Problem is gone. It is not possible. You cannot join all those matter together to create the replica. It is the efficient cause. And that is what these four stages of metaphor is being used. So then in this chapter, then all this metaphor is explained every subtle aspect. This is what is our masters in other texts, they talk about it. It is everything is becoming and being. Becoming and being. We are something that is the process of becoming. So our master says we should ask the question that from where this becoming process begins. So there are two aspects. We say becoming and being. That being is one consciousness, all pervading, present in everything of this entire universe, and the becoming is outside, becoming at the three level of the metaphor. Becoming means change. Change is affected by those three stages. But the exact nature of the consciousness remains the same, and discovery of that consciousness is what is known as awakening, realization. One thing more, and then we will. If we understand, we should also understand the science. The science begins the journey from matter to consciousness. From the effect to the cause. Obviously, that's one approach. How many matters we have? Around 108 elements are there. So some selective matter undergoes a constant process of change, they made a complex substance which is known as protoplasm. One unit of protoplasm is cell. Group of the cells are tissues. Group of the tissues forms the organs. We have so many number of organs. Organ forms the system, and the system forms the human model. Easy explanation. From matter, now we have come to the cell. Come on, who put the life into the matter? You have a lot of protein, we eat a lot of protein here. So the protein lies in the refrigerator, bring it out. Is it alive? Who put the life? Creative impulse, the second level of the metaphor. And all the three levels are just like different level of a wave that contains the same consciousness. Close your eyes, see, let us see. With the eye of a knowledge, with the eyes of Eastern wisdom, let us see what happens.